What is the meaning of liberty in reality? What does it mean to you and me? You're welcome back to Street Report on our 406.5 FM. I am Martin Ifanshku Gregory as and but the first. Street reports have been to Aloh, where there is another statue of liberty, a smaller one to compare with the one that is standing tall in America. And the Holy Book says that in the presence of God there is liberty. What kind of liberty? To worship and praise the Most High King. The liberty to do the right thing, not liberty to practice wickedness. The liberty of one's basics, one's basic rights, that is the liberty to exercise one's basic rights. And anybody who do not understand that everybody have basic rights does not deserve to be a leader at any level, Because as a leader, your every action, must reflect that understanding every step of the way, Yes, leadership is complex. That's why you hold meetings to share ideas, to know what is obtainable. And in the meetings, a wise community leader will seek the input of a lawyer to avoid complications, Yet, in a democratic setting, we have seen community leaders working with decree, Now, most community leaders are working very hard to checkmate insecurity, collecting data of foreigners who reside in their community. But the question remains, how are we sure that the crimes, are not committed by people who are trying to checkmate the crime in the first place, And another question is, so foreigners, are they the only suspects that needs their data to be kept, The insecurity most communities are trying to combat right now, foreigners who reside in those communities are mostly the victims of those crimes, There have been a lot of village or community vigilantes who have been convicted of crimes of robbery, kidnapping, rape, and the rest of them. So foreigners with integrity have the right to be inclusive in discussing matters like this one, So development of a community concerns even the people who reside in such a community. And a foreigner who resides in a community have basic rights as a citizen of Nigeria. So as a community leader who is making decisions that affects them, you are supposed to know about this basic right, and it should reflect in your every action, And any community leader who have segregating, discriminating attributes do not deserve to be a leader in the first place. Because their actions might lead to communal crash, So you can now see why the message the message we have for our society today is basically, who the cap fits, let them wear it. Collecting data in our communities is great. It's a wonderful idea. It would narrow things down to enable us in the aspect of security, economy, but it must not be done in the spirit of segregation. Remember that you are listening to Street Report on Alpha 106.5 FM. Martin Ifanshku Gregory as and number the force is the one here. Let's walk a bit, and come back to it to conclude this. So across the expressway the other day, I saw, I'm talking about Enugu and Onitsha expressway. I experienced a man and a woman. I saw a man and a woman seated in a golf car, parked across the road, and then two other guys pulled up with a motorcycle. This thing was happening in Onisha Expressway, and they pulled up and then they wanted to snatch their phones from them. And then the guy that was like the driver in that golf car was driven off. He resisted them, and then he held the woman who was already running away and held her back into the car and then drove off. Why these two other guys followed the two of them at their backs and then was laughing about the issue. The people who wanted to rob them were laughing and they were living gently as if it was nothing. So our society have gotten to the level where those who commit crime wouldn't even mind. They will just do whatever they want to do and then walk reluctantly and then walk away. So this is how I think our society, before we sanitize our society like properly the way we ought to, we have to call a spade a spade. We don't, when somebody commits a crime, they will have to go in for it. They will have to face the law, and then we don't have to say, hey, leave this one, is our brother, and then the other one is a foreigner, let him go in for it. We have to fix the facts, So this is how I'll call it a day on this edition of Street Report. In order to sanitize our society, let's be realistic then optimistic too, but realistic basically, and tell ourselves the truth. This is how it is on this edition of Street Report on Alpha 106.5 FM. I am Martin Ifeanyi Gregory as a number the first. Let's do this again next week by Yahweh's grace. Be good. Enjoy this one.